Good morning, all of you. Let's continue this management class of CMA Foundation. Just a second, please. Let me fix my mic. Yeah. Management class of CMA Foundation. In my earlier class, I gave you introduction part. What exactly is the management? I hope everybody is clear. If in case you want this material, which is used in the classroom, this material you can ask the institute. Institute probably will share it in WhatsApp group. So this will be more concise material, precise material. This will definitely help you to prepare properly. Okay. If in case any doubts you have, I would request you to WhatsApp to the management, so that management will send queries to me, so I will be able to help you out. Okay, let us now quickly, what is management? In my last class I was discussing about what exactly is management. What is management? Management is all about getting things done. When I say getting things done, it is basically with the help of existing resources, such as men, material, money, machines. Company has to do, organization has to carry out so many activities. Those activities functioning is the basic objective of manager. So being a manager, you're supposed to get things done with the help of coordination of all the resources. That is the overall funda that we have studied. We also had studied management has some characteristics of science, management has some characteristics of art, management has some characteristics of profession. So management could be having symptoms or characteristics of profession, because profession is a systematic body. Profession is about having a code of conduct, etc., and science is about systematic body of knowledge. Art is about practice, I mean implementing whatever knowledge that we learned. Okay, so management has all the characteristics. At the same time, please do understand management at the same time sorry at the same time to please do understand management is not about pure science, pure art. It has some characteristics. Okay, now let's quickly move on. Very important. I'm 100% sure, without a question on these three concepts which I'm going to discuss today for the next 40 minutes, you will not have exam paper. I'm 100% sure. Okay, so especially some lessons. First lesson, it is a little drowsy. First lesson will be lot of theory. First lesson, unless and until you have a language grip, unless and until you have a practical exposure, unless and until you visualize exactly how it happens in the company, it's very difficult for you to understand the first lesson. So first lesson, if you are able to manage, and similarly fourth lesson also is very difficult. Group dynamics one chapter is there, and that is also very difficult unless you have this. So put yourself into the shoes of exactly how it works in the company, and try to understand my simple examples. These examples will definitely help you to understand the main concept. All right, yes. Okay, now first one, principles of scientific management, which was explained by Frederick Taylor, FW Taylor. That is scientific management. Second thing, we have a theory called principles and techniques of management, given by Henry Fayol. And the next one, Max Weber theory, that is bureaucratic management, Max Weber theory. So I'm trying to understand at least one or two questions out of these three can come. So because syllabus is compared to your number of questions in the examination, and the syllabus is actually very vast. So make sure you have a clarity first, because what happens, now I want to tell you one simple technique, how to handle theory like this. Suppose if you could see, there are so many points here. Henry Fayol's 14 principles are there. Is it really possible for any human being to remember all the 14 principles? Even a teacher can't remember, trust me. If you ask me without material, obviously I would be able to tell you only 7-8 points. It is impossible. Especially a subject like this, do you really think that, suppose third point, criticism is there, there are so many points. Then some students are asking me, sir, shall we start mugging up? If you mug up, then how many things you will mug up? It is not possible. So therefore I'm telling you by key concept, if you understand for each one. Like Henry Fayol, scientific management exactly says what. Understood? Techniques of management exactly says what. Similarly, Taylor principle of management exactly says what. Max Weber, Taylor, Henry Fayol. These three theories, key concept, heart and soul, you need to understand. The moment you understood heart and soul of these three theories, whatever question comes, it's easy to manage. The reason being, I'll tell you, because all these points we can't remember. All these points we can't even hold it in our brain. It is very difficult. But if you have understood the basic concept, crux of the theory, in other words, basic element of this theory. If you are able to understand, you can easily manage this. Understood? Okay, now I'm trying my level best to use a very simple English so that everybody, even if you have come from regional medium, a regional language medium, you would be able to understand. So try your level best to understand this kind of a subject only in English, and don't try to understand in a local language or something. So I tell you, because when you are writing an examination, since questions are going to be in English, you need to understand the method of asking questions. So key point in the sense, some people will start reading all the key points like 5 points all. No, exactly what he says. For that you need at least 3-4 times revision. If you could revise 3-4 times, then definitely you will be able to manage this paper. Okay, let's see now what F.W. Taylor, Frederick, look at this, everybody concentrate on the material please. Frederick Winslow Taylor, F.W. Taylor, in simple form we call him as, is the father of scientific management. That is one question you should understand. So what is this scientific management? Why is it called scientific management? We need to understand. Okay, now I want to read all the 6 points and tell you exactly what is this. Says he has proved that through experiments that scientific methodology can be applied to the field of management. That is one thing. It consists of observation, it consists of analysis, it consists of experimentation and generalization. Very important point. Next one, he introduced these elements into management as to establish causal relationship between efforts and results. Scientific management is not any system to increase production. It is not meant for increasing production or to pay wages or to figure costs, nor it is merely time to study a motion study, etc. In the sense, it's not about increasing production. It's not about increasing salaries. It's not about finding out costs and reducing costs, etc. But this is very important, but it is a mental revolution where both for the employer and employee. So basically all these points what you have understood, slowly understand. First of all, he's the father of scientific management. What does it mean? In management, for the first time, scientific techniques have introduced. Scientific techniques in the sense, you cannot simply ask employees or employers to do something unless and until it was already experimented. Understood? Unless and until it was already experimented. Try to understand this. I repeat, we observe things, we analyze things, we experiment them, we generalize them. Generalizing this, we will try to ensure they are implemented everywhere. That is one thing. So basically, it is not about increasing production, it is not about increasing salaries, it is not about managing cost, etc. It is basically a mental evolution or revolution between employers and employees. So basically, the crux of scientific management is about the relationship between management and employees, that is the employers and employees, is studied in a scientific process. So let us see what is this objective. So overall it says what? Management should be a scientific process. Management should have an analysis of what exactly is the reason for non-performance or performance, etc. What actually makes employer and employee perform very well, what actually makes employee perform very well. Like this, we wanted to find out scientific techniques. Scientific techniques are the techniques which will be applicable everywhere. Scientific techniques are the techniques which will be applicable everywhere, which will also find out the reason scientifically, what exactly is the reason why company is not performing. If anybody is not performing, there might be a scientific reason. If anybody is outperforming, there might be a scientific reason. If somebody is talking very well, then there might be a scientific reason. He must have learned language differently, he must have struggled, he must have obtained a lot of knowledge, he must have acquired a lot of communication skills, so many things like this. There is a reason. So just like that, you can't generally you can't become an efficient employee, right? So there are a lot of things that went behind the effort of so and so. Okay, so generally it says, F.W. Taylor says management always has a scientific techniques, understood, which are tested, observed, analyzed and proved that they are correct. Okay, let's see now. It has the following objectives. First one, it says the rule of thumb to be replaced by rule of science. This sentence means is generally what happens. Suppose if I'm a theory teacher, I will come to the class nicely, I will clean the board first thing. That is a thumb rule, right? Yes or no? Then I will write all the points. Like school teachers, how do they do? We will write all the points on the board. Then we will start, okay, ladies and gentlemen, students, Boys and girls, let us start learning this concept one by one. That is the thumb rule, right? That means you think that traditionally that is the way of explaining things. So every activity has a traditional way. Every activity has a traditional way. You may ask us, sir, why are you doing like this? Because I have been doing this last 10 years. If you ask me a question, so why do you teach this so and so concept like this? I say, last 15 years, 20 years, I'm in industry, 30 years industry, I will do this only. That means last many years, many months, many days we have been doing in this way, so we will continue doing in this way. That is a thumb rule. Yes. ఎప్పటి నుంచో ఇలానే చేస్తున్నాం, సో ఇట్లానే కంటిన్యూ చేస్తాం. No. Taylor says, no, this is not correct. You need to have scientific method. Tell me the reason why this method is perfect. If in case you don't have a reason why this method is perfect, tell me on what basis. Suppose there are 100 students in the class, you are teaching in this way. If only 50% of the students are able to understand the concept, tell me what is the reason. You're not able to, because scientifically I'll prove that this one is not actually giving better things, so therefore we are not able to. I mean, whenever there's a performance, better performance, bad performance, dismal performance, or less production, anything, any performance related problem, you cannot do traditional things. You should be able to find out the scientific reason why performance is more, why profit is less, why sales are less. Like that is, if one line only has a lot of meaning there. Understood? So if you have understood concept like this, you can easily manage this, understand this. Okay, next one. There should be a perfect harmony. He says the activity, all, there are so many individuals working, activities of all individuals must be in coordination. So it says harmony means coordination. Okay, write down there. If in case you have a rough notes, please make sure that you keep copying. So first thing is, traditional way of doing things in management should be replaced by scientific things. Never do something unless there's a reason for it, unless there is an effect of it, etc., etc. You must be very careful. Okay, an atmosphere of perfect cooperation among the. So the next one, it says harmony in the sense there should be a coordination, there should be a cooperation. Production has to be maximized, not restricted output. You have to aim at maximization of output. There should be encouragement. These are the keywords. Proper selection and training of workers must be there. Equitable distribution of work. So all these things, if you could see, he says, boss, you should not do traditional way. You should always find scientific methods. If you are doing like this, tell me the reason why are you doing. Tell me the reason on what basis you can increase production. Tell me the reason on what. So will it increase, will it maximize production, will it increase production, etc., etc. It says very clear, there should be a cooperation between employers and employees. There should be a proper training between employers, and there should be a proper way. Who should do what should be there. Everybody should know in the company what employees should do, what employers should do, what kind of encouragement they need, what kind of cooperation they need, what kind of coordination they need. So between employers and employees, there should be a proper coordination. There should be a proper coordination. That coordination, proper training should be there. Proper specialization should be there. So simply, Taylor uncle wanted to tell us, beta, there are employees and employees, and there are different individuals, there are different departments. You know what? You need to make sure that all these guys will be following systematic techniques. And each technique should have clear-cut reason why this technique is used. You cannot simply follow just because you've been following last 10 years. I cannot continue teaching for the new generation what I was teaching 10 years before, because 10 years before children were different. And today children are very smart. And they think more than reading. 10 years before children, they only read. After reading, after 10-15 days, they will understand. Trust me, it's a fact. Whether you believe it or not, this is a fact, because this is my 23rd year in teaching. I'm telling you, 10 years before, students were different. They used to first read without even asking a single question. Today, student will ask me a question, then read. And in the sense, thinking process changed. So scientific techniques must be changed. So what is the reason why performance is less? What is the reason why so and so is good, etc., etc. So overall crux, shall I tell you, scientific management, he says, whenever you want to improve performance in the company, there should be a coordination among the employers and employees. There should be some scientific techniques, and those techniques must be tested, must be experimented, then only you should implement. So like suppose when you're walking on the road, why only everybody should walk on the left side? Why not right, left and right? It is proven scientifically that if everybody walks zigzag, there will be accidents. The number of accidents minimized when people started having a discipline of walking only on the left side or on the zones like that. So scientifically it is proved. You need to prove scientifically. Understood? That is one. And moreover, division of work in the sense specialization. You cannot ask everybody to do everything. You should always encourage people. You should always encourage people to give more efficiency. Okay? Criticism of Taylor. So it says, so overall it's a kind of revision. What is the crux now? In management, if you want to improve performance, there should be techniques, and those techniques are tested, analyzed, observed, experimented. And never follow a method of doing. Never follow method of doing. Never follow method of doing. Best example, suppose if I write a point and explain on the board, if I show you material and explain, this is effective. If I simply go on speaking nicely in installment basis, everybody will fall asleep. So I thought the new process in online classes, let me show the material first. Let me show the point to the students. Understood? Yes? Try to understand, because the live classroom classes are different, online classes are different. There should be a different technique. And I have tested and proved that if I show the material like this, student will focus on the material line to line, they will be able to read and they will be able to follow. And if in case they have not understood anything, they can definitely read that point and understand. So crux of this is that division of labor should be there. You need to improve the performance with the help of scientific techniques. Understood? That is the point. So you can't just do things just because you've been doing. Since time immemorial, my grandfathers are doing like this, my father did like this, my brother did like this, my sister did like this, so therefore I'm also going to do like this. No, chiller it is. Nobody will worry about all these things. Understood? Yes? Awesome. Now next one, criticism on Taylor principles. What it says. Taylor mostly explained production, maximization of production, employer, employee, increasing improvements, performances, all those are related to factories. It says it is related to factory, and they say separation of planning from doing. I mean, they say he did not give importance to planning. He gave too much importance to work side. He only you only worried about direct improve. You only worried about foremanship, in the sense labor functions. He considered human elements as cogs of machine. He only gave importance to machine. He doesn't worry about mental growth of people. He created a condition of industrial autocracy. He says in industry everything has to go scientific. Just like a machine works as a technology, and operations also have to go. So that means human beings he did not give importance. He only gave an importance. This is a method, you should do it. This is the technique, you should do it. This is the division, you should do. This is the work, you should do it. Sir, I'm not comfortable. No, don't tell me anything, you just do it. And he made human beings like a machines. Understood? That is autocracy, in the sense is like industrial domination. Okay. Next, he creates unfair distribution of benefits between employers and employees. It is doubtful whether standard of work can be really measured or not. In the sense, see, he says each one should do their work respectively. So my question is, each one should do okay, but where is the guarantee that each one has really done? Sometimes everybody will blame only one fellow, saying that I did not do. Suppose there is a defective product. When there is a defective product, everybody will start blaming only production department did. Because production department is responsible for producing a product. What if others, what if product is defective while packing, while packaging, while transporting, etc. So that means what Taylor uncle says, better this is your work. If in case something goes wrong, you are responsible. What if after me somebody else has done a mistake? How do you find out? Understood. So it is it is mostly about workers. He's worried. It is not possible to find out one best way to do a job. So what happens is, he says there should be a scientific method to do a job. Very nice. What if the technology changes and new method comes? What if the experience gives, suppose since I've been teaching last 20 to 23 years, I must have found out various techniques, various new methods to do the same job. But Taylor uncle says this is a method you should fix and continue doing it. What if I have a new idea tomorrow? What if I have a new idea after 10 days or 15 days? Got my point? What if there are changes? So you say this is the method, you should do it. Like daily I have to drive the bike. Why I have to drive the bike like this only? Why? I can leave the hands for some time and do it. No. You will find some people on the road, on single wheel also they will drive the vehicle, right? That means how can you say this is the method that is going to benefit everybody? So rigid, very rigid policies he gave. Understood? It is not really scientific management, but it is scientific approach. So he overall criticism is very simple. He gave importance only to workers, he gave importance only to factory, he gave importance to technology, he gave importance to fixed method, he is not flexible, he did not give importance to psychology of people, attitude of many a times performance increases not only because of the method. Aryanna, method is same. Suppose every teacher is teaching the same subject, same thing. But why some teachers are good? Why some doctors are good? Why some lawyers are good? Why some chartered accountants are good? Everybody is dealing with the same thing. No, that means it is not the method. These two cars, you give it to drivers. One driver is winning, another driver is losing. What is the reason? His psychology. He must have a fear. The other fellow who lost a race, he must have got a fear, right? So same car, same technology, same speed, everything is same, right? But still, why one fellow is winning? So human elements like psychology, attitude, behavior, conduct, these things will help improving performance. Then F.W. Taylor neglected such human features. Sometimes you will do very well, you will produce very well, not because the machine is good, but because you are so active on that day. You are so happy because management told you that you are promoted. And Taylor uncle neglected this. Human behaviors he neglected. He only says this is the method, you're going to do it and you will be successful. But what about him? Sometimes, suppose if you're blasted by your father at home today and you started listening to my class, you will definitely scold me what this idiot is talking actually. Because your psychology, your attitude, your mentality is not good today. So just because a technology is there, just because a method is there, just because my division of work is there, it does not mean I'm going to perform. There are so many other human elements. I need promotion, I need better facility, and I need better treatment, I need better security. I need I need family balanced life. So many things are there. Imagine sometimes the same good teacher, he comes to the class and he won't teach very well. He says he will simply sit nicely and he will ask you to copy the notes and sit and go. Why? Because his attitude on that day was affected, his psychology was affected, because his behavior was influenced by something else. Got my point? So overall, you understood now. If you know the criticism, you can easily understand what exactly the FW Taylor mostly gives importance that management should always go by scientific techniques, which can be tested, which can be experimented, which can be observed, which can be analyzed, which can be implemented. He says employers and employees, there should be a coordination. Each one has to do something different. There should be a method. That method you have to strictly follow. But he only thought that with this division of labor, with this division of work, you can definitely improve the performance. But unfortunately, he neglected human elements. He thought that performance comes only by scientific technique. He never thought that performance of the laborers is also dependent on his behavior on that day, his attitude on that day, his psychology on that day, his problems on that day, etc. etc. Human beings will not live simply just because the technique is good. No, my mindset has to be good. If I have a passion to give you some knowledge, then I will give you. If I don't have a passion, but I have only a task that I have to finish the syllabus, I will not give you. My focus, always being a teacher, should be giving, because I always have that passion to give the knowledge. Therefore, a teacher will be efficient. If a teacher is not thinking about students' future and is not thinking about knowledge to be given, then he only simply finish the syllabus. In any job, since I belong to teaching community, I am telling you this. If a laborer comes to the factory, is fully encouraged, motivated, then yes. I mean, human elements are neglected. Overall understood now? Yes? Okay. That means he says you need to design techniques and ask everybody to follow that technique. What if tomorrow he comes with a new technique? So you are saying only this technique is best. Understood? F.W. Taylor focused more on doing activities in the management with the help of text. So just go through this once. When you read the sentence, you will be able to manage. Yes? Next one. Principles and techniques of management by Henry Fair. We are talking about management, how to get things done. Taylor uncle says you have a scientific method, divide the work between workers and employees, make sure they are coordinating with each other, do it. Simple. Taylor says divide the work, have scientific methods, and ask everybody to do step by step the whatever technique is given and let them follow. That's what they say. But unfortunately that doesn't work because there are so many human elements. It's not about just work, it is about other things as well, right? Okay. Now, Henry Fayol has given some principle. It's a Henry Fayol focused on the principle that could be used by managers to coordinate the internal activities of the organization. This is the key word: internal activities of the organization. So, one question you should understand: Henry Fayol focused more on efficiency of internal activities more than external activities. Let's see. He has three important elements. Number one, division of classification of activities. Activities have to be divided. Number two, management analysis. Number three, formulation and principles of management. This is one question you can expect if in case there is an objective type. And first of all, you should remember how many principles Henry Fayol has given. How many principles Henry Fayol has given? 14 principles. Activities, analysis of management, principles of management. So basically Henry Fayol tried to give you, these are the principles. If you are a manager, if you are in management, if you are managing a function, if you are managing a department, if you are doing anything, these are the things that you are supposed to follow. So let us understand basic. So you need to, the moment I finished explaining this Henry Fayol theory, you must always understand what exactly the basic difference between F.W. Taylor and F.W. Taylor says management is not simply doing things. Management is about doing things according to the method that is tested, that is experimented, that is analyzed, that is observed. Make sure you divide the activities and tell them that these are the steps to do, etc., etc. Got my point? Yes. So Taylor was more about rigid techniques that you are supposed to follow if you want to improve the performance. And he also said employee must have a categorization of works. But this man, let's see what he's giving now. First of all, he talks about how many principles. The question is, how many principles? Who is the father of scientific management? F.W. Taylor. Who actually explained the techniques of management? Henry Fayol. Okay, remember this. What he says. Look at this. Number one, division of work. He says first divide the work. So this is same even Taylor said. Very nice. Authority said sense of dutiness. That means you cannot you cannot get things done unless you appoint people and give power. Suppose 100 people managed by one fellow, very difficult. Make sure every 10 people are reporting to one leader. That's why in MNC companies you'll have team lead for every 10 people, 15 people. In every project you will find 15 people. You can't expect work from people unless each one is given responsibility. That is Fayol uncle says. Discipline, see there, clear, good supervisors must be there. Fair agreements must be there. Proper application and sanctions. In the sense, you always have to ensure discipline. That means people, subordinate, must follow what is given by superiors. First one is what? Divide the work. Next one is what? Give proper authority. Ensure proper discipline. Unity of let there be one person, one manager. That means people report to one manager. It's not one person, one individual employee must receive orders from one fellow only. If I'm getting orders from everybody, I'm getting orders from Sonia Gandhi, I'm getting orders from Rahul Gandhi, I'm getting orders from Priyanka Gandhi, people will die of heart attack only. In most of the states where family rule is there, that happens. I'm getting order from this fellow, that fellow. Total family will start influencing. Obviously, police officers and other ministers will get confused. Understood? So if I'm reporting, if I'm getting instructions from one man, unity of command means that. Next one, unity of direction. Direction also should be one and same objective. Suppose when you go to company, what is the direction? Which direction towards company is going? One direction should be there. Very clear, no? He says divide the work. Give authority, make sure there's a discipline. Good superiors must ensure discipline and ensure one superior and make sure one direction. Understood? Unity of direction. Next one, subordinate of individual interest. That means you cannot have your personal interest in the company. When you are working in the company, you must always have company interest. What company wanted to achieve? That is the point. Next, remuneration should be fair. You cannot show discrimination among the people. If you start showing discrimination, they will start showing hell to you, working, not working. Centralization. See, if you want to have a control, of operations, make sure everything is, and this is one criticism also actually. They say all resources must be utilized at one head office. Decisions have to start flowing from head office. Centralization. Scholar chain. This chain clearly is hierarchy. Hierarchy in the sense like superior existing from highest authority to the lowest ranks. like center manager, vice president, assistant vice president, manager operations, then customer service, like this. You should have hierarchy, proper authority. Last fellow cannot go to center manager at center. So it's like a small DTP operator cannot go to chairman uncle and say, uncle, I want leave. Obviously chairman will get angry. That fellow has to go to the officer of the administration. That administration will go to principal. Principal will come to chairman. Evadu padithe vaadu cannot go to the higher officers, right? If this clarity is there, people will shut their mouth and move. Otherwise, no, everybody would like to get something from chairman every day. Watchman wanted to leave, chairman or center manager. No, it is not possible. Okay, that clarity should be there. Then order should be placed from everything. That means there should be a centralized place where order should come. That is one thing. Equity, sense of equity must prevail. That means equity in the sense, never ever show any discrimination. Boss, your level, no discrimination. The other level, no discrimination. Level to level, there should be a proper equality. Next, stability. If you go on changing people, it's very difficult. Just like in school or college or coaching center, if the faculty frequently change, teachers frequently change, trainers frequently change, how do you feel? You feel nuts and bolts, right? Same thing here in the company. If there is no stability in the superior line of control, workers level, etc., definitely you will face problems. That means, simply speaking, Henry Fayol says better, there should be division of work, there should be proper authority, there should be proper discipline, there should be proper superior, there should be one line direction, there should be one line command, one line supervision, there should be an order, there should be discipline, there should be equality, etc., etc. And last one, esprit de corps. This Latin word esprit de corps means teamwork is very essential, because you should never, overall, Henry Fayol uncle wanted to insist, Naina, individual interest is not important, company interest is important. One person interest and desires is not important, the whole company interest is very important. This is how you need to revise the subject, this subject especially. So what scientific management was given by F.W. Taylor, what he says, there should be a systematic technique in managing operations, and those techniques have to be tested, have to be observed, has to be analyzed, has to be implemented, and there should be a clarity of work. But here he says there should be clarity of authority, there should be a clarity of responsibility, there should be a clarity of division work, there should be one person giving orders, there should be one direction, understood? There should be equity, understood? See, now there should be stability. You cannot go on changing people in the company and expect performance if you go on disrupting the existing situation. It's very difficult for you. Teamwork, in the sense, everybody should do what they're supposed to do, and everybody should definitely follow the orders from supervisor. There should be a strong supervisor. If manager is not good, then people will not be good. If leader is not good, then people will not be good. Something like this. If suppose in India, because India we have 3 religions, if leader is supporting all the 3 religions, people also will think in that way. If leader is supporting only one religion, then definitely people will think my leader is this, so my religion is great. If leader is thinking my region is great, then obviously people also will think in that way. That's what team spirit must be. No individual interest. Nobody shall say, suppose what you want in the company is not very important. What in general company wants is very important. Henry Fayol uncle says. There should be a proper work, proper authority, proper responsibility, proper equity, no discrimination, proper orders, proper direction, etc. Understood now? So it's a little advanced theory of compared to F.W. Taylor. F.W. Taylor says scientific. See here, F.W. Taylor says what in objectives, if you could see here, he says there should be a coordination, there should be a scientific nexus. So you are supposed to basically divide the work and ensure everybody is given a technique, and those people, employer and employees, are supposed to work in that way. Work. But Henry Fayol says, no, it is not simply technology or division of work. It is about teamwork, it is about authority, it is about responsibility, it is about the unity of direction, it is about unity of command, etc. It is about, if everybody is doing everything, it's going to be very, so one central office must be able to, centralization is another keyword. Understood? That is one thing. So, okay, I hope you understood. Yes. Next one, bureaucratic management. So there are 3 theories today we are discussing. First one is what? Scientific management. Second one is what? Henry Fayol 14 principles. Third one is bureaucratic. Bureaucracy means like our government offices are there now. Government officers with proper power and authority, that is bureaucracy. So he's a German scientist. First question you can expect here. He says that bureaucracy is highly structured, formalized and impersonal organization. Organization should have defined this is a keyword. He is talking about hierarchy. Hierarchy in the sense, just now I said, like let's say chief minister, next minister, next MLA, next like this. Chairman, next dean, next director, next principal, next vice principal, next HOD, next faculty, like this. Depending on the nature of the organization, every company must always have a hierarchy, flow, who should give order to whom, who should report to whom. That is what hierarchy. In hierarchy, I can tell you, see here, in hierarchy it works like this. Like when I was working in a bank, HSBC bank, I have center manager, I have vice president operations, yes, I have assistant vice president operations, I have got manager operations, I have got assistant manager operations, I have got team lead, I have got customer service executive. I was working as AMO. See, this is hierarchy. That means what? Vice president will report to center manager, assistant vice president will report to vice president, manager operations will report to assistant manager operations will report to, like this it will go, top to bottom. Very clear who's supposed to report to whom, who's supposed to control whom, who's supposed to give instructions to whom, etc. etc. properly. This is called bureaucracy. So central manager is like a chief minister, kind of. He is a big man. Everybody will shiver when he comes onto the floor. And he's a centralized decision maker. Hierarchy. See, basically, this is the structure. You need to understand here, this is the structure. Bureaucracy characteristics. One is specialization of labor. Formal rules and regulations are there. Well-defined hierarchy, like levels are given. Impersonality in application of rules. Impersonality in the sense, it is not about person who's very important. It is about the position. That means center manager will be so powerful not because he's a muscle builder boss, but because of the regulations that he has, because of the powers he has. Impersonality. I mean, when you apply rules, you should not think about physical personality, etc. You should think about role, level. Customer service executive, obviously last fellow in the company. Understood? So, one question they can ask you, which of the following is the characteristic of bureaucracy? Explained by whom? Max Weber focuses on what? Every organization should have well-defined roles and responsibilities. Understood? Well-defined roles and responsibilities. You should first divide the position, that is hierarchy. Top to bottom, bottom to top. And therefore, first thing, specialization of who should do what. Next one, who should frame rules. Next one, authority. Next one, overall applicability. In the sense, you should not apply rules not on the basis of a person, but on the basis of level. Understood? That is the point. Bureaucratic theory by Max Weber. Jurisdictional areas clearly specified in the sense what everybody is supposed to do. So what is the jurisdiction of center manager? What is the jurisdiction of vice president? What is the jurisdiction of assistant vice president? In the sense, what is the scope of them? In any company, what everybody is supposed to do exactly well defined here. Understood? Nobody will poke their hands into different functions. See, it follows organization principle one by one, reporting structure, rules and regulations will be there, okay. Means of production, everything will be belong to centralized office. Means in the sense, factors, resources. Officials are selected on the basis of technical qualifications, not on the basis of, they are not elected, they are appointed based on technical qualification. Employment by organization is career. Let us understand one by one. Organization follows in the sense one by one. Center managers, some power should, and everybody should have some rules, power, authority, etc. Third one says means of production in the sense resources, factors of production which are there will belong to main office, centralized office. Yes. Next one, officials are selected based on, that means you cannot select center manager just because he's so and so. You have to select center manager only on the basis of technical qualifications. Yes. Next one, you individually working, you will not have a career. You working in the organization will have a career. That means if I start my own tuition center, I may not be able to have a career. So how long? Students may come for 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. I will survive. Similarly, doctor having a clinic, how long he will survive? One fine day, if in case that place people stop coming. But if he's working in the hospital, that means he's working in the organization. Since he's working in the organization, definitely he will have a better career. So Max Weber says it is the organization which is important, it is the position which is important, it is the power which is very important, it is the level which is very important. If you want to manage company, how do you manage company? You cannot manage company unless and until you have levels. Unless and until you have levels, you have got authorities, you have got segregation of rules must be there. How do you manage company? Suppose I want to start a branch. When I want to start a branch, how do I manage? Simply I can't say one fellow to manage everything, right? I should have center manager, assistant manager, deputy manager. Otherwise, if it is a coaching center, let's say principal, vice principal, HOD, like this, I should have. No, you cannot have everything to be given to somebody. So if you want to implement company objectives, you must always have hierarchy, so that people will know whom to report, whom not to report, whom to meet, whom not to meet, whom to consult, whom not to consult. Got my point? Yes. Everybody? So there are 6 major principles. This is another question. 6 major principles. Number 1, formal structure should be there. Rules must be designed. Understood? Everybody should have a special function. Up focused or in focus means external or internal. Up focused in the sense company should have external roles as well as internal roles. And it should be impersonal. No personal treatment will be given. Okay? Employment based technical qualification. These are all the 6 principles. Very, very important. Please. Max Weber made 6 major principles. He says there should be a level. Every level should have rules, regulations. Everybody should have a separate function. There can be external functions or internal functions, outside the branch, inside the branch, up focused and in focused. Next one, it impersonal in the sense you're not giving importance to a particular individual. You should be treating everybody equally. Next one, you cannot take somebody just because you need somebody, but you should have the person who's, suppose if you want to take a software engineer, you should always take, you want to take a IT manager, he should be at least having some technical qualification. Understood? That is one thing. So these are the 6 important principles. You will definitely have a question on this. Hierarchical structure, managed by rules, functional speciality, either external or internal, it is impersonal, and you always have to recruit a person based on technical qualifications. Everybody clear? Yes. Now what is this? So Taylor talks about scientific management, where he says that allocation of functions should be on the basis of techniques. Henry Fayol is basically thinking about authority, responsibilities. Understood? And Weber theory talks about bureaucratic. That means hierarchy level should be there. Okay. Overall, so too much emphasis on rules. Sometimes what if rules are not acceptable? Sometimes what if rules are not very easy to follow? And he only says, there should be an officer formally appointed. What about informal? Sometimes, like suppose at the time of annual day in college, formal groups like teachers and these people are actually contributing. Informal groups formed by students are actually contributing. Informal groups. Informal in the sense which are not officially appointed by company. So they neglected informal groups. It involves a lot of bureaucracy, lot of rules, regulations, email should go, then writing letters should go, everything should be on paper, all rules and regulations should be on paper, otherwise people will not believe. Okay, that is one thing. It is since everything is centralized at one place, obviously decision, every time decision has to be taken by center manager. So customer service will give it to assistant manager will give it to manager, like this. By the time it goes to head office, it will take minimum 1-2 months. Yes. Next, it is mostly suitable. They might ask you, it is suitable for which organization? Mostly suitable only for government organizations. Too much of importance is given to technical qualification. Hello, more than many a time. Suppose, best example, chief minister. Does he have any technical qualification? Then he's far better than everybody, right? There are some positions and duties where managers need not have. Suppose if you want to manage airport, you need only an engineering fellow. What about a hotel management fellow also is managing? Currently, Shamshabad International Airport in Hyderabad is managed by a CEO is from hotel management. He did hotel management. He learned about how to cook, how to manage hospitality, and is managing airport nicely. That is only half of the work, right? That means it is just because I'm qualified. If you think only qualified fellows should do, most of the qualified people are doing. But why companies are not able to increase performance? Since rules always top in government office, if you go, every officer has different rules, so they won't coordinate with each other. They say this is my function, my authority, who are you to interfere, etc., etc. Okay, so limited scope for human resource. I mean, you will not give importance to human being sentiments. You will always give importance to what rules and regulations. So simply speaking, Max Weber theory is about bureaucratic structure, hierarchical structure, where everything is done on the basis of levels and on the basis of rules and regulations. Clear, everybody? Yes, understood. Okay, so which I mean, bureaucratic structure is about levels and rules, regulations, control. Understood. Henry Fayol is about authority, responsibility, division of labor, functions, etc. Taylor theory is about scientific techniques. Just go through this once, you will be able to manage. Okay, have a good day. I hope you understood, and any doubts please let me know. Thank you so much. Have a good day.